And you have to mark everything to market, not to model. And marking to market means reality, what the asset is really worth. And they've been marking to model, which means, well, subjectively that's what we think it is, and which is fantasy. And if they do that, I would say thousands of companies are going to go under because they're bankrupt. Now, I don't know if they're going to enforce them. 2 years ago, they both wanted to put them on the companies of the world, and the politicians of the world and central bankers told them, no, don't do that. Wait 2 more years. Well, here we are 2 years later, and we're not any better off than we were before. Maybe worse. And so they're going to do the same thing, or attempt it again, because those rules are going to change everything. The whole world is going to go down in flames. So we don't know what they're going to do. Let's assume they say, okay, we'll wait another year. And then they get a little reprieve. But the economy's going down unless they add more money, stimulus. The Fed's saying, oh my goodness, we're going to have high inflation. We better cut back some of the spending. Well, if they do, the undertow of deflation will overtake them like a tidal wave, and they'll all get drowned, which in this case means the collapse of the world economy. So they got to keep on playing the Ponzi scheme game. And we're going to have that inflation. And somewhere along the way, some event will happen, and the whole thing will collapse. And that's why gold and silver are so important, because they're real money. They're a currency. And you don't want to be long dollars, I'll tell you that.
Do you feel that the war, Bob, is something that they're going to use to cover their tracks as an exit strategy? Just to get out of the way?
Well, I don't know about exit, but they don't want to be blamed. They saw what happened in the late 1700s in France. 300,000 people lost their heads. And they know there's no way back. And alternative programs like this, talk radio, and the Internet are killing them. We've got them on the run. And that's why I do as many programs as I do. I'm hoping to crush them. And they're going to make mistakes now because they're having to rush to do what they have to do. And that's the worst possible thing for them. You see the cavalier, arrogant, we're the masters of the universe attitude. Well, when they're cowering in prison for their crimes, they won't be thinking about the arrogance and that attitude. Because they're coming down this time. And they listen to every single program I'm on. And they hate me.
So, Bob,
and boy, I'll tell you, I am causing them so much damage. If they could find me, they'd kill me.
The suspension of the Federal Reserve by Congress, you wrote it's on the way. What's going to happen when that happens, Bob?
Well, they can even keep it as a standing unit as an adjunct to the Treasury Department and change the rules internally and do away with the 1913 Amendment creating the Federal Reserve, and they would call it the A subsidiary for monetary matters for the U.S. Treasury. And what they would do is change the players at the top, and there would be people working in there who were lifetime government employees, professional bureaucrats, if you may. And what we would have is we would have transparency. And they wouldn't be able to say, like the Fed has said, it's a state secret. I mean, give me a break. These are monetary matters that Congress has to know what's going on. And so the beginning that would come would help an awful lot, too, I don't know that this is going to happen. But lobbying should be done away with, along with campaign contributions. And the contributions to campaigns would be made by the federal government, and everybody get the same amount. They'd have 2 months to campaign, and that's it. Then we don't have everybody buying the Congress.
I totally agree with that. I've said that for a long time. The political wrangling goes on way too long, and nothing gets done. Besides, it takes away from their jobs that they're supposed to be doing.
Well, can you imagine them voting on bills they've never read, neither as their staff? I mean, it's disgusting.
Well, they have to be. Anybody that's blind, and just had some braille could read those bills and understand that they're probably not good for America. I mean, if you wouldn't do it, it's probably not good for the next guy either.
It's true.
You know.
But that is the state we're in, and that's, solutions.
Yeah.
I think that the reins of power, both politically as well as behind the scenes, are going to be difficult to dislodge. And if we don't have a new war to contend with, which probably would become a nuclear war, then these people will attempt to protect what they've got, their positions, their power, their money, by using the American military. And they ain't going to buy it. Because I talk to them all the time. I do every Thursday in the afternoon, 5 o'clock East Coast time. I do the American Disquisition. And that program I've been on 4 or 5 years. And the main listeners, although it's changing now, but the main listeners are Marines, Navy, Army, Air Force, and State Department. And they tell us on the program, we are not going to take an unlawful order from anybody because we put them on guard as to what government's going to try and make them do. And we tell the same thing to law enforcement. They want to federalize you. If you want to die, get federalized. And you don't stand a chance. I mean, these guys running around in their black uniforms with their clubs and all of their equipment and everything. Let me tell you something. Headshots kill everybody.
That's right.
And, it 450 million weapons in the country, 80 million veterans, 40 million have been in combat.
Right.
Who's going to take that on?
I wouldn't. I have a question for you, Bob. Let's back up to 1207. How far is 1207 right now?
Well, it's in with, I think, 3996. And if it passed and it was part of it, it's passed, but I haven't heard anything.
I haven't either. We've been really following it pretty hard. So I was hoping that they would audit the Fed. I was hoping it would get through. Do you feel that they're gonna try to butcher that thing up real hard and try to avoid all?
They already tried once.
Or do you think
Representative Witt of Watt, I think it's Watt, of North Carolina, who represents the Bank of America at their headquarters there, gets millions of dollars every year for them for being a political whore. He gutted the whole bill, and then they used it as an amendment in this bill. So if the bill was passed, unless they pulled it out, I would assume that the remnant of 1207 has been passed.
Really?
I'm sure that's going to have to come out. I mean, if that went through, then I'm sure Ron Paul's going to have to be talking about it here.
Well, I haven't seen anything which tells me something went wrong.
Yeah, something must have went wrong. Well, we don't.
And I haven't seen any comment one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. I haven't either, and that's what I was going to ask you, because I've been following it, and then it was going kind of hard, and then it kind of dropped off. So either they swept it under the rug, so it didn't get any publicity, or B, something bad's going on here, and we just don't know about it. So.
Unless they stalled it again,
they
which is
possible.
Well, they can stall it all they want, but the public, when polled, 75% want it, which is astounding.
That's great.
Because some of those people don't know how to get home, but they obviously understand that the Fed's no good.
I agree with that's a very good statement. I agree with that statement, 100%. And these people that have been running our country or been playing with our money and been playing with our country, been playing with the world, will be shown, and whatever happens to them, and it's their problem.
Well,
you reap what you sow,
That's right.
and sooner or later you get caught.